Let's look at how to create an assignment or a quiz or a discussion. And we're going to add a learning scale or rubric so we can go ahead and score that in Schoology. So you would add the name of the assignment along with the descriptor, the due dates here, the category, deciding whether you want it to be formative or summative. And then here's where you're going to let Schoology know how that's going to be scored. You could use the LSSU learning scale if you want to simply give it a 1 to 4 without all of the descriptors. Or you can go ahead and find a rubric that you've already added to the course or create a new one from this space. So let's look at how to do both of those. I'm going to show you from behind the scenes how you can get the rubrics that you're interested in this course to come into this dropdown. And then we'll come back here and we'll look at how to create a new one or work within an existing one. So in order to get that rubric choice here, whenever I add an assignment, I'm going to go on up, and there are a couple ways to do it, but let's look at how I can add a rubric that I've already gathered in my resources because I'm sharing these rubrics with a group, or I can have them in my own personal resource space. The group we've set up is this Stowe Middle School PD Share Scales. And when I open up that group, again, I found those in resources here under group. We've all added a number of scales that we've either experimented with or decided that we're going to use. And the one at the very bottom here for me is the Scholarly Habits scale. But I could easily grab the speaking or presenting scale or any others that have been added to this. If it's a scale that I want to add to the course, I can click on that here, and I come on over to the gear, and I'm going to select Add to Course. And then I'm going to say the course that I'm using to demonstrate here is the Sandbox course. I'll add that. And now when I go back into the course and I want to add to an assignment or a quiz or a discussion that rubric, it now exists here. Like I said before as well, I can create a new rubric here. There's one more way. No, let's just stay with this. We'll go ahead and create the new one here. And I now have this creation box, you'll see. Here are the steps that are going to be important for that. I'm going to create the rubric title here. So this might be something of interest to me around paragraph writing. And I want to first make sure that I'm applying the grading scale. So what Schoology means when it's talking about a scale is actually the template box here. Is this going to be a 4, 3, 2, 1, and what is the language going to be? I'm going to make sure that we select the LSSU learning scale so that we can all have some consistency in that. And notice when I confirm that, that's going to shift into the language of the scale. This probably will change for next year, but the steps in the process of being able to apply the LSSU scale will exist up here. Now I can go ahead and I can add any of the descriptors of interest to me, and there are two ways to do that. One is I can certainly just start typing the things that are going to be important in terms of paragraph writing, and I can fill in the descriptors here. That's a criteria that's going to go ahead and be, when I score it, added to the gradebook. But if it's something that I also want to, in addition to adding to the gradebook, track, because I know that it's going to be one of those learning objectives that we're going to be reporting out on, and everyone's agreed upon that, I want to be able to add another descriptor by clicking on those learning objectives. Notice when I click on that learning objectives, it's going to ask me to come on out and find one that's already been either preloaded because it's part of the Common Core or Next Gen Science Standards, or it's something we've agreed upon in the district that's going to be one of the custom learning objectives. So let me do that one more time. When I want to add criteria that is going to be both added to the gradebook and going to be tracked, I hit learning objectives, and I can find one of the Common Core, come on into English Language Arts, come to the grade where I need to be. It's going to be writing, And let's just imagine it will be, I still want to stay within writing, but let's just say it's this one, just for expediency's sake. Add that learning objective, and now you'll notice I've got my own criteria that I've added here, and then this one is now showing me that it's going to be tracked in terms of mastery over here, in addition to going to the gradebook. I would then go ahead and fill in each one of these with the descriptors, which hopefully, if I've already got this written, I can copy and paste, and then I only will have to do that process once. And then when I go ahead and create that, you'll notice it's here, and then whenever I want to be able to go ahead and select it, it's going to be in this drop down now as well. You'll also see that because I used that learning objectives button, now I've got a space here that's showing me that whenever I score this assignment, it's going to be tracking these learning objectives.